Hi, my name is Dana Jonovich, and today I'm going to be talking about Quentin Tarantino movies and his trademarks, so to speak. There's a theory among Tarantino fans that there's a Quentin Tarantino universe, basically, in which all of his movies are connected, and so I'll be getting into that a little bit, but here basically are like some little like trademarks he has. Like, one thing obviously he has that people notice is he has a lot of recurring actors that show up in like many of his different films. Some being Christopher Walken is in True Romance and Pulp Fiction. Brad Pitt made a start in True Romance as far as Tarantino movies go, and then 16 years later played Lieutenant Aldo Raine in Inglourious Basterds. Michael Marsden is in Reservoir Dogs and Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. Tim Roth is a huge he's a huge actor for this. He's got Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Four Rooms, The Man from Hollywood, and The Hateful Eight. Christoph Waltz was in Inglourious Basterds, playing Colonel Hans Landa. I don't know, he's German. And he's also in Django, playing Dr. King Schultz. Uma Thurman, obviously, is said to be Tarantino's muse. She was in Pulp Fiction as Mia Wallace, and Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 as Beatrix the Bride Kiddo. The character of the bride was actually, like, the brainchild of Uma Thurman and Tarantino. They created that together. Harvey Keitel was in Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, and Inglourious Basterds. Samuel L. Jackson, obviously, like, huge, like, Tarantino trademark. He's in True Romance, Kill Bill Volume 2, Inglourious Basterds as a voiceover. He's Jules in Pulp Fiction. He's Ordell in Jackie Brown, and he's Steven in Django. Steve Buscemi was in Pulp Fiction as a waiter. He was Buddy Holly, and he's in Reservoir Dogs. And my favorite part about, like, recurring actors is that Tarantino is actually his own recurring actor. He does a lot of cameos and gives himself small, unimportant roles in his films. He's in Inglourious Basterds as the first Nazi that gets scalped on screen, and many people don't know that because you don't actually see his face. He's in Jackie Brown as a voice on an answering machine. He's in Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Four Rooms, Death Proof, Django Unchained, and he's also the narrator in The Hateful Eight, which many people don't know about because he's not given a credit for many of his roles, and he's not given a credit for that. Some other key things, like, if I were to watch a Tarantino film, but I didn't know it was a film by him, I think I could probably figure it out pretty quickly that it is directed by Tarantino because of, like, his camera angles and his shots. He's very popular for the trunk point of view shot. It's in basically every movie he's ever made, like Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill 1 and 2, Jackie Brown. He also does the corpse point of view. Pretty straightforward. In Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill. He also does long takes and tracking shots. In Pulp Fiction, like, an example of a long take he does, like, the camera stays with Vincent and Jules for several minutes before they go to meet Brett, and there are absolutely no cuts there. And then for a tracking shot, Butch gets out of his car and walks all the way through an alleyway to get to his apartment and retrieve his father's gold watch, and again, no cuts. He also utilizes the 360 shot. He said it was used to emphasize love and togetherness as well as, like, confusion. Also, the God's eye point of view, used to convey something bigger than the actors is watching them and what they're doing. Some say, in other words, it's a cinematic inner conscious, which I thought was pretty cool. He also has, like, reoccurring themes. A lot of people don't really, well, maybe they know about it, I don't know, that Tarantino has a foot fetish. Many shots, like, there's a lot of close shots of, like, Mia Wallace and Jackie Brown barefoot. In Kill Bill Volume 1, the bride tries to move her feet. Like, she's been in a coma and her legs don't work. So there's just close-up shots of her feet, like bare feet. Sophie Fatale has, like, bare feet. And the band, the 5, 6, 7, 8s, are playing barefoot. And also Lucy Liu is barefoot, like, running on a table. So he just likes feet, I guess. I don't know, it's... whatever. There's also he has a lot of dance scenes and bathroom scenes, torture scenes, car scenes, restaurant and table scenes. He really likes black and white suits. Mia Wallace, Vincent Vega, and Jules Winifred in Pulp Fiction wear white suit, like black and white tuxedos, basically. Elle Driver, Bud, and the Crazy 88 in Kill Bill wear them. As well as Jackie Brown and all of the guys in Reservoir Dogs. So he just likes looking good, I guess. Many of his characters are, like, constantly making phone calls, and they're all, like, he shows a lot of the time it's characters watching TV, and it always, like, shows, like, old TV shows that they're always watching. He also does a lot of, like, fake product placement. Like, he created his own brands, basically, for his movies, including G.O. Juice, the Big Kahuna Burger, Fruit Brute cereal, Teriyaki Donut, the restaurant Jack Rabbit Slims, and a big one for him is Red Apple cigarettes. Whether characters are smoking these cigarettes in the movie or there's a lot of ads, like, throughout his movies for these cigarettes, which I thought was pretty cool. A little bit about the shared universe, basically, is the idea that all of his movies are kind of, like, connected, and this, like, is most evident through the recurring characters and names. Like, Vince and Vic Vega are two different characters from Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs, believed to be brothers. There's the Donowitzes, so there's True Romance's Lee Donowitz is the son of Inglourious Basterds Sergeant Donnie Donowitz. There's a character named Bonnie. So in Reservoir Dogs, nice guy Eddie says that he knows a nurse called Bonnie, but she's unseen. In Pulp Fiction, Jimmy's wife is a nurse named Bonnie. And in True Romance, a colleague of Alabama is named Bonnie, but we don't see her. In Reservoir Dogs, Larry Dimmick is the real name of Mr. White. And in Pulp Fiction, Jimmy Dimmick is the character played by Quentin Tarantino. Pam Grier is mentioned a lot in Reservoir Dogs. Mr. Pink mentions her. She's an actress. In True Romance, in the original script, Clarence says that the name of Alabama Whitman sounds like a Pam Grier movie. In Pulp Fiction, Bonnie's character is inspired by Pam Grier's role in Coffee, where she plays a nurse. And then in Jackie Brown, Pam Grier plays Jackie Brown, which was inspired by her movie Coffee. And also Elvis Presley is a major, like, Tarantino, like, Quentin Tarantino is an Elvis man. Like, in True Romance, Clarence talks about Elvis and his film Jailhouse Rock. Like, Clarence in True Romance is an Elvis man. He wears the Elvis, like, sunglasses, and Val Kilmer plays Elvis. In Pulp Fiction, Mia asks Vincent whether he's an Elvis or a Beatles man. And then Mia later says an Elvis man should love it when they arrive at Jack Rabbit Slim's. Vincent says to Mia, "Let's go get a steak." This is a reference to a line in Elvis, to a line Elvis says in Jailhouse Rock. And then Mia uses an Elvis voice when she and Vincent are about to take part in the twist contest. Also, like, about the Elvis glasses, like, he also uses the same pair in Kill Bill Volume 1 when the bride steals Buck's Elvis sunglasses. Tarantino films are, like, it's very, I don't know, like, it's controversial because he's, like, misogynistic and, like, there's racist content, and it's, like, I don't know if that's him or the movies he's portraying, but, like, very controversial because of the amount of blood spatter and gore, and there's so much swearing. But, like, I like his style because he's really cool. He's, like, he a lot of his movies have, like, backtracking and flashbacks, and, like, they have to rewind to explain events we've already seen. And a lot of the times, like, his movies are not in sequence. So in Kill Bill, like, there's chapters that are not in sequence. In The Hateful Eight, there are chapters that are in sequence. And so, like, that's just pretty cool. A lot of the time, like, when there's dancing and music, it's a lot of good old, like, exotic music. Like, 1970s, like, cool music and stuff. And some of his movies, like, only ever take place in, like, one room. So The Hateful Eight takes place in, like, a tavern the whole time. And Reservoir Dogs is pretty much mostly in one room. Yeah, basically, I think that's it. Yeah, basically, like, character stories connect, like, with little to no interaction. Yeah, there's lots of ad-libbing and, like, he basically just says, like, to go with the flow of his movies. And most of, like, the monologues that happen in his movies don't really have a lot to do with the plot. Like, in True Romance, Clarence goes off about Elvis. And in Pulp Fiction, Jules and Vince are talking in the car about, like, the famous lines about the metric system. And in, like, Europe, what do they call a quarter pounder with cheese? They call it a royale with cheese. Like, that has nothing to do with the actual plot, but so I don't know, that just makes it a Tarantino movie, I guess. Like, it's just slick dialogue, it's just really cool. But yeah, that's like a little bit about, like, his movies, basically. Like, everything mentioned kind of is carried through all of his movies, and I think that's really what makes him an incredible director, is that his movies, like, match, and they all use his own little quirks and trademarks together. And so, yeah, I just thought that was really cool. That's probably why he's my favorite director. So, yeah, that's all. Hope you enjoyed. That was Tarantino's little trademarks, and yeah, so ta-da! Thank you.